Hello, this is Base, and today we're going to talk about graphs and function. Graphs and functions from Pearson MyMathLab. So let's go. The main topic is rectangular coordinate. Graphs, rectangular coordinates. So let's define the rectangular coordinate. A graph shows the relationship between two variables in an equation. So the rectangular coordinates, which is also called Cartesian coordinate system, is a grid system used to draw graphs. To make it easier, it's actually two number lines that are perpendicular to each other, crossing at the point of origin. It is named after its developer, René Descartes. So let's see how we can define a rectangular a little bit easier and lighter. So this example that you see is a rectangular coordinate. How does it look like? The first number line, which is the horizontal axis, is called the x-axis. The second number line, which is the vertical axis, is called the y-axis. Inside the line or outside the line, you get the quadrant. There's 4 quadrants. The first quadrant, which is positive for x and positive for y. The second quadrant, negative for x and positive for y. The third quadrant is negative for x and negative for y. And the fourth quadrant is positive for x and negative for y. So you have to know how to read the rectangular coordinates so that you can be able to graph very easily. Be careful when you read it. Always make sure that you read the horizontal number line first, or the horizontal axis, which is the x-axis. Order pair, so alphabetical order, x is first, y is second. So you always read x first. Let's give you some values again about the origin. What is the origin? The origin is actually the point of intersection between the coordinates or between the axes. The origin as a point is read as 0, 0. So 0 for x and 0 for the y value. The coordinates can have any type of point around around anywhere. It can be on the axis or it can be on the quadrant. The points are called an order pair. So you read the order, alphabetical order, x value first and y value second. Sometimes it might not be x and y, it can be any type of variables. It can be a and b, but it's in alphabetical order. In that case, a comma b. But here we're going to focus on x and y value. So how do we plot a point? To plot a point, we have the following example, 3, negative 4. So 3 represents the x value or the x coordinate, and negative 4 represents the y coordinate. So the first step is go into the horizontal axis or the x-axis, and find the point of the value 3, and which is the value 3. So you start at the origin, move 3 place to the right, then move 4 place down, which goes to the negative side of the y coordinates. So you're going to plot the points that will give you 3, negative 4. So 3 is for the x value or x coordinate, negative 4 is for the y value or y coordinate. A linear equation is basically, to make it easier, it's a straight line. There's 2 types of linear equation that we're going to learn. The first type is the standard form. The standard form is written as ax plus by equal to c, where a, b, and c are real numbers. The x and the y are basically two variables, which we mentioned earlier can be the values on the axis of the quadrant. Can be those points as well. An example or two examples that we have: 4x minus 3y equal to 12. Another example for a standard form is x plus 2y equal to negative 35. The second type of linear equation, which is another way of saying a straight line, is the slope-intercept form. So the slope-intercept form is written as y equal to mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. An example. The first example is y equal to 2x minus 12, where m, which is the slope, is 2, and b, which is the y-intercept, is negative 12. You have to know how to name them. Another example is y equal to negative 1/3 x minus 17, where m is negative 1/3, and b, which is the y-intercept, is negative 17. Let me make it clear. Every time you are describing a slope, make sure that you don't put an x value next to it. The slope is always next to x, but when you are writing the slope, it has to be just a real number. So m equal to 2, that's it. Don't say m equal to 2x. Just m equal to 2. A solution. The solution to an equation is the order pair x and y that can be substituted into the equation without changing the validity of the equation. So, is 3, 0 a solution to the equation 4x minus 3y equal to 12? So how do we know if it's going to be a solution? The first thing is, let's read the order pair. The order pair is 3, 0. 3 represents the x value and 0 represents the y value. Any equation that they give you, replace 3 with x, which is x, with 3, and replace y, which is 0, with 0. So you replace it inside the equation, so it becomes 4 times 3 minus 3 times 0. Is it really equal to 12? So let's see. 4 times 3 is 12, and 3 times 0 is 0. So 12 minus 0 is equal to 0, and therefore that is right. Usually you go down so that you can get the answer. So 4x, 4 times 3, 4 times 3 is 12. You go down, and then 12 minus 0 is 0, so that you can be able to get the answer easily. Therefore, this is a solution. If this side is not equal to the opposite side, therefore, it will not be a solution. But in this situation, in this example, it is a solution. Graphing. A graph of an equation is an illusion of a set of points whose coordinates satisfy the equation. A set of points that are in a straight line are called linear. Let me mention it again. Every time they mention a linear equation, you will always see a straight line. But there's different type of graph that you might get. Sometimes the equation will have an absolute value. So if you see an absolute value, the shape of a graph will be a V shape. If you see a parabola, or sometimes we will see x square. If you see an x square, the shape of a graph will be a U shape. So that's the different type of graph you might see. Those are the basic stuff so far. So let's read the following points. -1, 4, 1, 1, 4, -3. So we have 3 points that we can actually graph. So -1, 4 should be on which quadrant? If you look at the quadrant, that's going to be on the second quadrant. -1, 4, read up, and 1, 1 is positive for both, so it's going to be on the first quadrant. 1, 1, first quadrant. 4, -3 is going to be on the fourth quadrant. 4, -3, fourth quadrant. And you draw a line to create a straight line, which is called a linear equation. So to graph How do we pick a point? To make it easier, always pick positive numbers, 0 of course, and negative number for the x value. This is just to make it easier so that you don't have to complicate your life so far. Now, if the equation is in slope-intercept form, or y equal to mx plus b, which is actually easier to graph, and if the slope is a fraction, use the denominator of that fraction to be able to get the multiples and multiply every set by the multiples. I'll give you an example to make it a little bit clear. Let's do the first example where it's in slope-intercept form and the slope is not a fraction. The equation is y equal to 2x plus 5. So my positive number here is 1 if x equal to 1. So if x equal to 1, I'll go back to the original equation. I replace x with 1. So it becomes 2 times 1 plus 5. And we know that 2 times 1 is 2 plus 5. So it becomes 2 plus 5. And 2 plus 5 is 7. That's my positive number. Now, remember, I told you pick a positive number, pick a 0, and pick a negative number. But I pick 1 for my positive number. Now let's go to 0. If x is 0, then 2 times 0 plus 5. 2 times 0 is 0 plus 5. So 0 plus 5 is 5. So the order pair is 0, 5. The negative number is negative 2 for mine. So 2 times negative 2 plus 5. So it becomes negative 4 plus 5. Negative 4 plus 5 is 1. The order pair is negative 2, 1. As you can see, the 3 order pair can be plotted. You can plot that in the rectangular coordinates and draw a straight line. And the straight line will be in a positive slope. Let's give you another example. The equation is y equal to 2 over 3x minus 1. The slope here is 2 over 3. And the y-intercept, or b is actually negative 1. The y-intercept will be 0, negative 1. Again, pick a positive number, 0, and a negative number. Now let's go into the fraction of the slope. The slope is 2 over 3. So look at the denominator. The denominator is 3. So what kind of number can I pick for that? The x value, to make it easier, pick number that goes into 3 or that are multiples of 3. If the denominator was 5, you pick multiples of 5. So 5, 10, and so on and so forth. If the denominator is 7, pick the multiples of 7, 7, 14, and so on and so forth for the x value. But in this case, the denominator is 3. So pick multiples of 3. So 3, 0 and then negative 3 for my negative number. So 3 positive number, 0, and negative 3 for my negative number. If x equal to 3, so 2 over 3 times 3 minus 1. So it becomes 3 times the 2, which is 6, divided by 3. 6 divided by 3 minus 1. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. The order pair becomes 3, 1. That's the first order pair. The second x value is x equal to 0. Replace x with 0 in the original equation. 2 over 3 times 0 minus 1. So it becomes 0 minus 1, and the answer is 1, negative 1. Negative 1, create an order pair of 0, negative 1. The last x value is negative 3. So replace the value inside. 2/3 times negative 3. So it becomes negative 6 because I multiplied 2 times negative 3 and over 3. So it becomes negative 6 over 3, which is 2, negative 2 minus 1. And my answer is negative 3. The order pair is negative 3, negative 3. So I have 3 order pairs. And the 3 order pair can be plotted on the number line of the coordinates. And once you plot the coordinates, you're going to have a positive value, positive slope as well. Thank you very much and see you next time.